Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Aaron Blade, and I am the editor, creator, and producer of what you're watching right now, Blade Talk. If you are new here, welcome, and you find this presentation helpful and informative, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Do me an even greater favor and subscribe to my channel. I always appreciate all the support that I am given. So today, obviously, I'm on my front porch. I wanted to do a short video about social media. I've gotten comments, emails about how do you stay sane being Jewish with all the anti-Semitism on social media. I know it's trendy to hate Jews today. And I'm going to give my rules about social media and how to kind of keep a level head with all the craziness going on. So if you're interested, let's hit that intro and let's begin. All right, so it's beautiful outside. I wanted to do this on my front porch. It is really gorgeous. That being said, I want to go over 5 rules that you can use as it pertains to social media so you don't get caught in trends and it ruins your day, it affects your mood, etc., etc. Rule number 1 is use social media sparingly. I know, it's incredibly addictive. It's designed to be that way. You know, you think you're just getting information and putting information out there, but in actuality, it's giving you a dopamine hit. So use social media sparingly. Don't get caught up in doom scrolling. I know it's very difficult to do. You're constantly either posting or looking at someone else's post, and I promise you, nothing is going on that important on social media that requires your attention. If it were that important, people would be talking about it, which leads me into rule number 2. So rule number 2 is don't mistake social media for real life. And this is a big one because I believe that everyone born before 1995 knows that social media isn't real life. But everyone born after that, they're getting caught up in social media and thinking that it is real life. I know people trend, things like that. But then you go outside and you realize, and you actually talk to real people, and you realize that nobody's really talking about that thing. Get out and touch grass. Get out and meet real people. Social media is not real life. Everyone's posting their highlights, everyone's posting relationship goals and whatnot. And again, it's become an echo chamber. Social media breeds group thinking and it strips you of your individuality. I'll tell you how this works. So there was an experiment done a couple years back, and they sat one person in a room, and there was a very long line drawn on a piece of paper, and then there was a very short line drawn underneath it. And the person asked the subject, the person, that are these 2 lines equal size and length? And the person, subject, said, obviously not. One line is longer than the other. So afterwards, they brought in 9 actors. 9 actors in the room with the subject. And they asked the question again. All 9 actors said, yeah, the lines are the same size. And lo and behold, the subject changed their answer to, well, now I want to change my answer, all the lines, because he was afraid of standing out. He was afraid of being different. And this is the same way that social media works. You see, somebody will put something on social media, be that Israel owns America or the Jews control X, Y, and Z. And then you'll have a bunch of bots or people with private profiles. They don't have pictures, there's numbers in their profile name, etc., etc. And then they'll go in and they'll agree with the premise. Yeah, Israel does control America. The Jews are bad, or whatever the case may be. And now you have this long thread of bots and conspicuous people all agreeing with this notion. Now, unfortunately for children that use social media, they don't understand what's going on. So they don't want to be looked at as an outcast or be alone in their way of thinking, because then they may doubt themselves and look like an idiot or whatever the case may be. So they go along with the majority consensus or the thread underneath whatever crazy idea that's there. That's how social media takes over children's lives. That's why I say limit the amount of time that you are on social media, and especially for children. Especially for children. Always recognize that social media is not real life. That's why you have so much anti-Semitism going on social media. But you actually go out in the real world and people are actually quite fine with Jews. You have so many people attacking President Trump, and Trump is, in bed with Russia. He's in bed with Israel. So funny, they were claiming that he was Hitler, and now he's the most pro-Israel president. So now it must be that Israel controls Trump. So very interesting, but that's the way that the trends work on social media. The point that I'm trying to make is that if you go out and touch grass, you'll find out that people don't really have these same views that are trending on social media. What's happened is you end up in an echo chamber. And so if you like something or you look up something, the algorithm will continue to feed and push things your way, and now you get stuck in this echo chamber, and the brain is a victim of repetition. So the more you see it, the more you think that it's actually real, and it's how most people think, and that's not true. That's why Jews are actually okay with the vast majority of Americans. The vast majority of Americans voted for President Trump, but you'll never believe that once you look on social media. So that's rule number 2. Rule number 3, don't read the comments. I know it is very enticing. Social media is designed to be an echo chamber and an ego boost. So when you post something, it's very easy to get swept up in wanting to look at your comments, hoping that everyone agrees with you, everyone likes what you posted, etc., etc. Again, it's designed to be that way. It gives you an ego boost when you get tons of likes, tons of loves, etc. The problem is no matter what you post, there's always going to be someone that is just miserable in their lives that will post something derogatory or insulting or disrespectful, etc., etc. And they're doing that to get a reaction out of you. Understand that happiness isn't quick to manifest, but anger is. When someone says something that upsets you or pisses you off, you're more likely to respond. And now you've given that random stranger or family member or whoever what they wanted in the first place is attention. They want to back and forth with you. Don't give them the satisfaction. So I always say, don't read your comments. Don't get lost and tricked into giving these nobodies that are miserable attention. And if all else, I would say turn off your comments so that they don't even have the opportunity to comment. If you can't control yourself in terms of responding to negativity, because the truth is again, you're never going to post something that everyone agrees with. You can say that the sky is blue, and you'll get someone that says, oh, thanks for stating the obvious, dumbass, or some crap like that. Like, you're never going to get all positive feedback. At best, you'll get people that will disagree and keep on scrolling or go about their business. But never assume that everyone is just going to agree with you. Don't mistake likes for instant validation, things like that. No, it's designed to be an ego boost, but don't get lost in the comment section. Don't give miserable people what they want, which is attention. Rule number 4 is don't mistake online happiness for real life happiness. And a lot of people get very distracted by this. They see pictures of people their age, they're in Cabo or Cancun, and they're sipping margaritas, and they're hanging out with other attractive people, and they're attractive themselves, and they seem like they have their whole life together and things like that. Understand that that is not real. It's not real. Because if people were actually that happy, they wouldn't be spending a whole lot of time on social media trying to convince you that they're happy. Understand that it's all an act. It's all for marketing purposes. The reason they're portraying themselves this way is that they can get the likes or the comments, the attention, etc., and then they make money off of you. They want you to buy something. Whether that's an item, whether that's their OnlyFans, or whatever the case may be, they want you to purchase something. If only for the follows, the likes, and whatnot. Social media, a lot of people make money off of it, and the amount of money that they make is determined by the views and the likes and loves and the follows and the shares that they get. So it's not even something that they're actually putting out that's real. It's the fact that they need to make money off of you, and the only way to do it is to either post something very, very sad that you can sympathize with, or to post something very, very happy that draws your jealousy and whatnot, and you'll constantly want to know what's going on in their life today. It draws you in, and they get paid for that attention. So again, you see a bunch of women that post very provocative outfits or whatever, and then they'll post a caption that says, I'm so lonely, or whatever the case may be. All of it is to entice you to follow them, to like their photo, or like to give them attention, because they make money off of you when you do that. So understand that online happiness is not synonymous with real life happiness. It's all marketing. It's advertising. They're there to make money. So don't trick yourself into believing that it's real life. Some of these women, I'd say most of them, that are doing this are honestly miserable in their everyday life. They are usually lonely, they're miserable, they have mental health issues, they're depressed, etc. Because if they weren't, then they wouldn't be trying to seek validation from so many strangers. That's not the way that they would be making their money. And it's the same with men. You see men that will they got the ripped body and whatnot, and you see them with this equipment or this push-up machine or whatever, saying that you can look just like them in 30 days if you buy whatever equipment that they're trying to sell, or if you take this drug in 30 days you'll look just like them, you'll be more fit than you've ever been. It's all a lie. True happiness still comes from being married, having children, investing in things that will outlive you, poetry, singing, dancing, playing an instrument, etc., etc. So don't get lost into thinking that the people on social media, that's the dream, that's how life should be. It's not. It's not. They're selling you a fantasy in order that they can make money. If you want to be fit and whatnot, you're not going to do it by, just buy this equipment, and after 30 days you'll have arms like this and you'll be ripped, and it's all a lie. It's all a lie. You're not going to magically take a drug and in 30 days you're going to be completely skinny and fit and ripped, etc., etc. It's not how it works. There is no shortcut to success. You want to look healthier and be ripped and whatnot, watch what you eat, go exercise. You want to be happy, find your purpose and be married, have children, get closer connection with God, etc. You want to be more fulfilled, find something that you enjoy and hone in on that. Perfect your craft. We all have a gift, and recognize what that gift is, and then once you find out, keep working at it. That's the true measure of happiness. It's not measured in the amount of clicks that you get or likes, or not even the materialistic things, your house, your car. Success is measured in your happiness, because if you're not happy, none of that stuff means a thing. None of it. So again, it's all marketing, it's all advertising. Don't get lost in that. They're trying to sell you something and gain followers, gain attention, and whatnot. And some of it can be used in a positive way. I've seen pianists, violinists, drummers, and whatnot. I've seen people that, really display their talents and they gain followers that way, which I think is beautiful, because you found your gift and you're honing in on it. So in some ways, it could be beneficial. But most of the time, they're trying to sell you an idea. They're trying to con you. So be mindful of that. Rule number 5, and my last rule, is go technology free. Now, as a practicing Jew, personally, in my everyday life, I've completely shut out social media, with the exception of YouTube. Like, this platform is basically all I got. I've removed Snapchat, Facebook, TikTok, all of that. I don't do it anymore, because I recognize, and I even fell prey to this, comparing myself to what other people are doing. And that's a dangerous place to find yourself in. Your road, your race is yours to run. And don't get distracted by what this person is doing over here and that person is doing over there. Focus on you. Because the more time that you spend doom scrolling and looking at what other people are doing, the less time that you're making to work on yourself and run your own race. So be mindful of that. When you are with your family, I would encourage putting the phones away and be social. It is so amazing how many young people are losing their social skills due to social media. They don't know how to hold a conversation anymore. Again, I've cut out all social media. I don't advise everyone to do that, but go periods where you don't check social media, that you don't look at social media. I promise you, nothing is that important. Nothing is that important on social media that it requires your attention every hour, every 2 hours, even every day. If something major was going on, they would talk about it at the store, they would talk about it, your neighbors would talk about it at the synagogue or shul that you go to, they'd be discussing it. Nothing that major is happening. So focus on you, your life, and the people that matter. Your children, your spouse, your parents, etc. Because social media really robs you of time. And before you look up, again, the entire day is gone because you decided to scroll on Instagram or scroll Facebook constantly. And that time could have been used towards something more productive. Instead of looking at everybody else's life and trying to find out what everyone else is doing, focus on your life. Spend time with, that time could have been used with your children, with your spouse, with your family, with your Jewish community. And no amount of money ever bought a second of time. Time is the most valuable thing we have as human beings. So be very mindful where you choose to spend that amount of time, because you're never going to get it back. So if you found this presentation helpful and informative, do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Do me an even greater favor and subscribe to my channel. I always appreciate all the support that I am given. Thank you all so much for tuning into Blade Talk. Be good to yourselves, be good to others, and until the next presentation, you all take care.